11 states are set to start easing coronavirus restrictions tomorrow as protests ramp up throughout the country over lockdown orders. Many Americans hitting the streets this weekend to put pressures on their governors, demanding to let them get back to work. And so now we want to bring in the former governor of Arkansas and Fox News contributor Mike Huckabee. Governor Huckabee, good morning to you. What are your thoughts this morning on that?
Well, I think governors across the country are recognizing that people have had about enough of just being told to stay home, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. Everybody wants to be safe. People have applied extraordinary measures to protect themselves and their friends and their neighbors. But there's also a point at which we cannot live hunkered down forever. It's not like bombs are dropping on top of London. We're at a time when we've got to get back to work, or there's not going to be anything to get out of the house to go back to. So increasingly, governors are ramping up. And it's interesting to note, Brian Kemp in Georgia is a good example. People were just hammering him for starting to open back up. But his state has seen the lowest number of COVID-19 cases now since this whole thing started. Ron DeSantis in Florida, where I am right now, he was getting hammered. He wasn't doing enough. But the truth is, Florida has a bigger population than New York, more senior population than New York, and a small fraction of the number of cases. So these governors who have managed by saying, let's not shut everything down too quickly, have actually had far better results than the ones who closed the doors, locked the key, and started arresting people for doing such things as getting a haircut or buying seeds to plant tomatoes in their garden.
Yeah, I mean, 60% of the cases in New York came from people at home as well. Is there a perverse incentive in some cases for politicians to sort of move the goalpost and continue to keep it locked down, to say, hey, we're going to prevent every single death we can? Of course we want to do that, but it seems like there's a political incentive to do that too.
Well, there may be a political incentive. You know, there's certainly a power grab that I find revolting. We don't live in a police state. I've been all over the world. I've been, as you have, Pete, to some places that are authoritarian, totalitarian governments. And every time I'm there, I'm thinking, I want to get out of here. This is not America. I like freedom. And I visited some police states. I don't want to live in one. And I think one thing we are beginning to recognize is that part of the reason this is extended is because all the government people who are telling us to lock our doors and not go anywhere, they're all getting their paychecks, every last one of them. Not one government employee is failing to get their paycheck. So if we really want to solve this, let's say this. If you're a government person and you're telling other people they can't get their pay, you don't get yours. And that includes Nancy Pelosi and the members of Congress.
Governor, part of what impresses me so much about you is your ability to articulate so simply and clearly solutions. And that's partly what I loved about your book, Simple Government. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on the U.S.'s relationship with China, right? Because we're sparring with China right now over many things, and we have for so long. And right now we're sparring with them over the pro-WHO language in UN Security Council pandemic ceasefire resolution language. And Beijing wanted to mention the WHO's role in tackling the virus in the resolution, while we have demanded more critical language. What is your solution that you recommend? What are your thoughts on how we can disentangle ourselves from China's grip?
Well, great question, because that's exactly what it is, China's grip. This started when a lot of American multinational globalist countries decided they could make a real quick buck by shipping all the manufacturing that we used to do here to China, where cheap labor would do it without any regard whatsoever for the environment or for human rights abuses. So we did that, and we had cheap stuff. But now we're seeing that cheap stuff under the iron hand of communism isn't cheap at all. It's like pay me now, pay me later. Well, we're paying. Boy, are we ever paying for all of the things that we sold out to China. And frankly, the way that the World Health Organization, WHO, has kowtowed to China is disgusting and revolting. And President Trump is exactly right to do what he's done. Let me just say this. I've got more confidence in the rock band WHO than I have in the WHO, World Health Organization.
Good line. Governor, before we run out of time, I got to give you a chance to share your Mother's Day thoughts.
Well, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. My own mother has been deceased for a number of years. I've got a photo of her, but not one with me because she refused to be seen with me in public from the time I was a tot. But I also, have a wonderful wife who's mother to our 3 children and a wonderful grandmother to her 6 grandchildren. She's recovering from a broken ankle in 3 places. She stepped on a grandchild's toy this past week, facing surgery tomorrow, so her Mother's Day is a little more painful than it ought to be.
Oh, goodness.
The toys will get you.
Governor.
We hope she recovers quickly. Governor, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Great to see you guys.
Thank you, Governor.